Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Insane Worlds. 9. Cleodemus, 200 BC. In Lucian's book De Lyre, he tells of Cleodemus. After falling gravely ill and being attended by Antigonus, Cleodemus grew further sick. Finally, after having a fever for 7 days, Cleodemus had an NDE. Cleodemus woke to find a ghostly young man in a white cloak. The young man led Cleodemus to a place that looked like Hades, the underworld. Cleodemus described seeing Tantalus, a rich but wicked king, Tityus, a giant chained to a rock, and Sisyphus, a king forced to roll a boulder up a hill forever. 8. Prince Gad, AD 2246. The Acts of Thomas is an early 3rd century New Testament text. The following potentially apocryphal tale based on your view of the Bible concerns Thomas, the Christian apostle to India, and the Indo-Parthian king Gondophares. One section of the Acts sees a visit to India where King Gondophares' brother Gad fell sick. After the king imprisons Thomas in a merchant cabin, Gad dies. Gad goes to heaven and notices that Thomas has constructed the king a palace in heaven. The angels then let Gad go. While the angels were placing clothing back on Gad, his soul entered his body. Gad then revived. Number 7. Timarchus of Chaeronea, AD 46 to 119. Timarchus was a young student of Socrates, whose story Plutarch narrated to Simmias of Thebes, another Socrates follower. Timarchus' story was prompted by isolation when he wandered into a crypt for 2 nights and days. By this time, most had given up hope on Timarchus, and his loved ones lamented his death. When Timarchus left the crypt, he told an NDE story. First, he experienced darkness, prayed, then lay for a long time unaware of if he was awake or dreaming. Then he was struck on the head, and he claimed his soul was released. Soon after, he began to experience auditory buzzing and other noises. 6. A Roman shepherd, 252 to 260-264. During a period of pestilence in Rome, a shepherd of the Emperor Valerian became infected with the plague. After all the man's loved ones viewed him as dead, the man had an NDE. The shepherd recalled being taken to heaven, where he was given the names of everyone who would die at the house of Valerian. The shepherd noted, though, that Valerian was to survive. To convince Valerian about the truth in his encounter, the shepherd spoke foreign languages, which he previously did not know, including Greek. 5. Kerma, circa 354 to 430. Aurelius Augustinus Hipponensis, or St. Augustine, was a Latin philosopher and theologist from the Roman Empire's Africa province. His book, Caring for the Dead, addresses burial practices, the prayers of saints and prayers for the dead, as well as gives the Vatican instructions on burial. It also includes a notable near-death experience. Kerma the official was a man in the town of Tulium, close to the town of Hippo in Algeria. A poor member of the working class, Kerma became ill and lay unconscious and nearly dead for several days. Kerma then felt slight breathing from his nostrils, suggesting he was still alive. 4. Vespasius, 563 to 568. Plutarch told the story of Aridaeus of Sali, who experienced a fall from a great height and landed on his neck. Aridaeus then passed away. On the 3rd day, he was carried away to be buried when he suddenly recovered. Aridaeus' narrative revealed how he died and experienced his spirit body exit his physical body through his head. He also described a new ability to view all directions at once easily and quickly. He was then shown how the afterlife operated before he was revived. Aridaeus fully transformed both himself and his lifestyle after his recovery. These changes included becoming pure of heart and more supportive of his community. He also changed his name to Vespasius, which means divine or wonderful. 3. Venerable Nishizo, 941. The Japanese monk Nishizo's trip to heaven and hell was depicted in the 13th century Origins of Kitano Tenjin Shrine, as well as other manuscripts. One day in 941, he began to experience a high temperature followed by the closing and swelling of his throat, tongue, and windpipe. Unable to speak or call for help, he wept and fought for his breath. Soon afterward, he died. The first thing Shizo encountered in his NDE was a monk who brought him a drink of mountain waters. Then various youths brought Nishizo more food and water. Number 2. Saint Christina the Astonishing, late 1100s. Saint Christina lived in the 12th century and into the 13th century. In her early 20s, while working as a shepherd, Christina experienced a seizure. She woke to find herself on the ground. She was soon pronounced dead and a funeral was held. In the middle of the funeral, Christina awoke. She started levitating and even ascended to the roof. When the levitating stopped, Christina explained she had died. Her soul had left her body and she was granted a glimpse of purgatory. God gave her a choice to either stay alive or ascend to heaven. Compassionate for those suffering, Christina returned to earth to do penance. 1. Pierre-Jean de Montcalc's patient, 1740. More recent than the other cases, this one marks the first time that a physician recorded an NDE. The report was authored by Pierre-Jean de Montchal's, a physician from northern France who described a case of near-death experience. The patient was a well-known pharmacist in Paris who fell unconscious. Montchal's staff was worried the man would not awake. During his NDE, the man then experienced a light so bright and pure that he believed he was in heaven. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.